This week's episode was brought to you by Jer Beckles, Anderson Calvin, Lauren, V, Ashley Say, and Svartalfur Umskiptinger. Thank you, Jer Beckles, Anderson Calvin, Lauren, V, Ashley Say, and Svartalfur Umskiptinger. It's with the unbelievably generous support of listeners like you that we here at The Whole Rabbit get to keep reinforcing our time wave shielding grid with updated backtracking neural net disruption parameters, which are adjusted in real time with the harmonic phases of the Earth to keep us hidden from the Eye of Chaos, who is seeking the location of our moon base as we speak. Which moon is up for you to figure out. If you'd like to help us keep us cloaked from the Eye of Chaos, or just hear the second half of this very special Christmas episode, then please visit www.patreon.com/thewholerabbit, where your monthly generous donation of just $5 will not only get you instant access to our extended version of this episode, oh no, dear listeners, and after you log in, you'll have access to our entire library of extended content, which is browsable from right within your Spotify app. It's like the Akashic Record, but for freaks. Not only that, I'll send you a 5x5 high-quality vinyl sticker of our Big Bunny Baphomet cover art at no additional cost, and if that were not enough, you'll be given the secret keys to our Discord server, where listeners and hosts of the show hang out, play Scrabble, and exchange cooking recipes. That seems to be the latest thing we're doing. If you enjoy the show, please help us stay advertiser-free and tell a friend or share us on social media. Check out our $20 a month Rabbit tier for a monthly tarot reading from yours truly. Just sign up and send me a message on Patreon or Discord, and we'll set up a time to do it. I still think it might be the best deal for tarot on the internet. Special thanks to Tim Hacker of the Cryptic Chronicles podcast for helping us prepare the episode this week. If you want more great content from Mr. Tim Hacker, make sure to check out www.crypticchronicles.com. In this week's episode, we explore the dark side of Christmas folklore, delving into mythological figures like Krampus, Frau Perchta, the belly-slitting hag, and the musically inclined specters, the night folk. In the free show, we uncover the pickled children of All Saint Nicholas and the danger of accepting coal from salacious wood nymphs with foxtails. In the extended show, we go further down the rabbit hole to discuss the one-eyed dog Turst, not to be confused with Fred Durst, the kid bonking Belsnickle, the nasty Necht Ruprecht, and the fearsome denizens of the wild hunt led by Odin's eight-legged reindeer, Sleipnir. Thank you, and enjoy the show. So my kid says, "Dad, I want a dog for Christmas." And I say, "No way, kid, we're having turkey just like we do every year."
Wow.
What did the boy with no arms get for Christmas?
What?
I don't know, he hasn't opened it yet.
Oh.
Why is it so easy to track Santa on Christmas Eve?
Why?
Because he always accepts cookies.
Had to think about that for a second.
Come on, Grandpa. What does a man who's had a vasectomy and a Christmas tree have in common?
What?
Decorative balls.
That one's really funny.
Jingle bells.
Oh, man.
What did the bad soccer announcer get for Christmas?
What?
Coal!
Oh.
Oh, that's
Wow.
bad.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Whole Rabbit, where we don't just propitiate Santa Claus with a glass of apple spiced eggnog, oatmeal cookies, and a blueberry scone for his 8 or maybe 9 reindeer who, especially the one with the glowing red nose, needs a steady supply of carbohydrates in order to complete their yearly gift distribution agreement as outlined in their employment contract with Miss Claus, who's steadily begun to complain more and more each year on Twitter about paying property taxes at the North Pole. Nay, we also explore the darker side of Christmas traditions from Northern Europe, where misbehaving children and contrarian non-joiners risk being paid a visit by unspeakable demons of the night, because this week we're going beyond Santa and exploring the sinister side of Yuletide legends. I'm your host, Hack Rabbit, also known formerly to you humans as Luke Madrid. I'm joined this week by the hexa-headed hound of the holidays, Marisama.
Aroo!
The delicious damsel of the daemonium, Hecka Astra.
Hello.
And the face-melting ghost rider astride the sacred camel's hump, Mr. Tim Hacker. Thank you for preparing this episode and joining us for our Christmas celebration.
Oh yeah, and everybody better
have behaved this year?
You're gonna find out what happens if you didn't.
Especially if you're a kid.
Especially, because those are the people that need to learn discipline.
And seriously, like a lot of this stuff, people are just dicks to kids.
I mean, that's reality. Not sheltering your children is probably one of the greatest gifts.
And boy, are we gonna learn about that today. I mean, to be fair, if we quit pretending we're adults just for a minute, putting birthday celebrations aside, okay? Halloween and Christmas are oftentimes the favorite, most anticipated days of the whole year. Well, Halloween is mischievous, spooky, and good irreverent fun. Christmas complements it as the more wholesome, gregarious, and enchanting of the two. I mean, Halloween can be pretty enchanting, but hey. But if we look just below the surface of each holiday, we find an exciting overlap, which, in times past, and even today, depending on where you live, are broken up into numerous different celebratory traditions which succeed and blend with each other throughout the coldest, darkest months of the year. And while this might seem bizarre, or even unpalatable to some, the unlikely dichotomy between mirth and the macabre make perfect sense for celebrating this time of year. Frankly speaking, in times past, there was no guarantee of survival through the dark season. And, likewise, some of the symbols they used to celebrate this time of year were equally as dark, threatening, and punishing. I mean, to be fair, okay, if you don't do something during the summer that you need during the winter, you could die. And so some of the symbols and figures we're going to be learning about today, I think, are perfectly symbolic of that. And it makes sense to pay them what they're due.
Also, they're all real.
Absolutely. I think 1 and 2 of them were maybe mentioned in Stephen Greer's Death Switch that was just released.
Ah.
Yeah, Santa's been using anti-gravitic craft this whole time.
Also, did you guys see the news?
What?
St. Nicholas was actually confirmed. They found his sarcophagus in a church.
I did see that. That's awesome.
We're going to bring him back with cloning, right? And make him the president.
Hopefully. It was actually recently confirmed that, yes, the guy that Santa Claus was based upon was actually a real person, St. Nicholas, and his body was recently exhumed in a archaeological expedition outside the Church of St. Nicholas in Myra, Turkey. And it currently is now known as Demir, Turkey. I don't know.
That's the best kind of turkey. You have to baste it a lot, or it'll get dry.
Anyway, Tim is right. The stories are true. They must be.
He's like the most important saint when it comes to sailors. Like if you're on the water and you're about to drown or your ship's getting messed up by the waves, that's who you pray to.
Oh, I didn't know that. Damn.
Yeah, pirates have been praying to Santa Claus for as long as anyone can remember.
Yeah, I had no idea about that either.
Santa's basically the god of pirates.
And let's start these tales with St. Nicholas and the butchered children.
Say
As
what?
Mari said, Santa Claus has deep roots in a historical figure known as St. Nicholas, who lived in Asia Minor, modern-day Turkey, from 270 AD until his death on December 6, 343 AD. Originally recognized as Nicholas of Bari, he was a Greek bishop who was celebrated for his unwavering Christian faith and dedication to helping those in need. His legacy serves as a testament to his impactful life and the values he upheld.
St. Nicholas was an exception right from the beginning. His career in the clergy seems to have begun under miraculous circumstances. According to legend, the Bishop of Myra had just died, and the priests were gathered to discuss what could be done on the matter. Unable to come to a consensus about how to move forward, it was declared that whoever walked into the church next would be made the bishop. As fate would have it, Nicholas of Bari walked in moments later, and the rest was history.
St. Nicholas traveled across the Roman Empire throughout his life, spreading Christianity and offering aid to those less fortunate, particularly the poor and children. His acts of kindness included gifts and secret donations, which laid the foundation for the traditions associated with gift giving during the Christmas season as we know them.
While the Romans celebrated Saturnalia, which did feature gift giving and feasting, St. Nicholas added some mystery to the whole thing, which is a big part of what makes the whole thing fun and what still endures to this day. The most famous example of this is when Nicholas once intervened to help a poor father who was unable to provide dowries for his 3 unmarried daughters, which in turn put them all at the risk of being sold into slavery. On 3 separate occasions, St. Nicholas secretly threw a bag of gold through the family's window, providing enough for each of the daughters' dowries. These bags of gold landed in the family's stockings or shoes, which incidentally were hanging out by the fire to dry. The father eventually caught Nicholas in the act and expressed his deep gratitude. This act of kindness is believed to be the origin of the tradition of children leaving stockings out for St. Nick, who then goes and fills them with treats or other small gifts.
While Nicholas's pure-heartedness is legendary, details about his actual life are sparse. So much of what we know comes from legends that grew around him after his death. St. Nicholas eventually became one of the most revered saints in Christianity, and his legacy continues continues to influence the Santa Claus character, even in modern culture.
Frankly, I had no idea how big of an influence he was on our culture. He was actually present for the Council of Nicaea in 325, where he not only participated in discussions that would decide what Orthodox Christianity would eventually become, he actually went as far as to slap the face of Arius. You know, the guy who showed up to the council and was like, listen, you've got it all wrong. The whole thing about the Trinity is confusing, it doesn't make sense. God probably existed before Jesus did, so I don't think Jesus is God. And they were just like, shut up! And Santa hip slapped Arius across his face. It was like, you shut up about Jesus, because we know the truth about Jesus, you stupid heretic. That's Santa. You tell that to the children.
Got like a situation going on where they're coming in. Remember, real quick, I just got to
Children?
take care of it.
Oh no, he got swatted.
Uh-oh.
FBI, open up.
The point is have you thought about that yet?
It's been happening a lot lately.
So what you're saying, Luke, is that slapping heretics should be a Christmas tradition.
Jesus and the money changers and Santa and heretics. It's just part of tradition.
Beyond his boundless generosity, Nicholas was believed to possess an array of supernatural abilities, which would also become legendary after his canonization in 1446. Among these talents were the capabilities to calm raging storms, exorcise malevolent spirits, and even raise the dead.
So his renown for helping mariners and for calming the seas was so prolific. There's a story of Christopher Columbus choosing straws with his sailors to be like, who's gonna go give the offering at St. Nicholas's, cathedral or whatever. And it ended up being Columbus who drew the shortest straw, and he had to go perform the sacred duty. So one reason he's known for this is because while he was bishop in Myrna, he convinced a number of sailors to share their grain supply with the city when it was dying of widespread famine, so he could talk to sailors.
Through actions like these, Nicholas became a symbol of hope, kindness, and unwavering faith.
But not all the stories about Saint Nick are so nice. One particularly macabre legend about the jolly bishop surrounds a butcher in medieval Europe and some unfortunate children who were unlucky enough to cross his path. As the legend goes, 3 boys were helping their father harvest grain when they became a bit distracted and wandered off to go explore the city nearby. However, once the sun began to set, the boys realized that they were lost, so they stopped into a butcher shop to ask if they could find a meal or where there was bedding for the night. But no sooner had the butcher closed the door behind them than he slit each of their throats and hung them up like pigs and began butchering them, slicing them up and curing their strips of flesh in 3 large wooden barrels.
At this time, the famine was still ravaging the countryside, and the butcher had designs of selling this meat for quite the profit, like Sweeney Todd.
Or like delicatessen.
Gnarly.
Somehow, St. Nicholas is made aware of the dark fate that befell the children and visits the butcher.
In one version of the story, the children have been dismembered and left to cure in the wooden barrels for 7 whole years by this point. At first, the butcher offers Nicholas his choice cut of pork or lamb, but Nicholas declares that he's really only interested in whatever meat is in those 3 pickle barrels. A mounting feeling of terror began to swell in the butcher, who suddenly attempted to flee in panic. Nicholas gives chase and hollers after him that God will offer him forgiveness if he only repents.
Returning to the shop, St. Nicholas touched his fingers to the lid of the barrels, and the dismembered boys rose up exactly as they were before being murdered, complete with their souls reintroduced to a new flesh. Afterwards, Nicholas sent the boys home to be with their family, who could scarcely believe their eyes.
Oh my God, it's my little Jimmy. He's still really tiny, and he's so salty. Oh, you come here, give your Auntie Bertha a big hug, Jimmy. Oh, hey, I'm gonna rub my toast on you because you're so salty.
Then St. Nick turns his attention to the man responsible for their untimely demise. Oddly, what awaits the butcher is not what you'd think. Instead of turning to him and being pissed off or turning him into the authorities or smacking down some sort of divine punishment, St. Nicholas tells him that he has to follow him for the rest of his days as a servant to atone for his sins. And this right here, this is a consistent theme of old legends surrounding St. Nicholas, a dark servant following in his wake. These legends evolved into unique cultural traditions that still resonate today and promise punishment for naughty children. However, the butcher is just one of many of these dark servants Santa called to a higher purpose.
Oh, that's the root of all those legends. It makes total sense because it's kind of like a one-off traditional story or a fable that is kind of told around this figure, and then all of the spin-offs have their own flavor.
Well, all of these entities are real, so.
Oh, so he has like a militia of dark souls.
all over the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So he kind of collects them, I guess. But that's what I'm saying is that he's also the ultimate patron saint of hope and generosity.
Mhm.
So the fact that he offers, like, the servitude it's a token of forgiveness and compassion.
Yeah, even to the most vile human beings who commit the most horrific acts, he offers atonement too.
I can't help but notice when you say dark servant, it seems, at least in the Dutch version of this, that they took that quite literally. They have Black Pete is a person of color that follows Santa around and gives service to him.
Good God. I,
have no
didn't
idea.
mean it like that.
But that's how they took it. Like, she's not wrong.
It seems like they interpreted it quite literally, and then, but I don't know if the cannibalism accusation is there. But,
That's good.
He's Santa's helping hand. I would like to think that he gets paid and is,
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think anyone will get paid.
I think there's definitely some underlying racism there.
Perhaps in that one iteration, but the scary, monstrous side of the coin for Santa Claus, I think, is a really important aspect to the legend as a whole, because it takes into, how they have the legend, oh, Santa Claus makes a list of all the naughty and nice children, and the naughty kids only get coal. It's like, really, is that the only repercussion for misbehaving and actually being rude and harming other people? For bad behavior, you should be punished with more discipline than that. And I think the dark side of the coin with this story, this dark servant of Santa Claus, I think should be brought back into the mainstream, in my opinion. And it's already getting popular, but not for like children to know about, if that makes sense. Like, we're still sheltering children a whole lot.
Oh, you mean like Krampus?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Krampus is a great example, and it's even come back into popularity to talk about this character. But again, I think this monstrous example of what you get if you misbehave when you're a kid, I think it's very much needed in today's society.
Well, you know what I like about this, quote, servant character? It gives a lot of character to Christianity, in so much as it doesn't matter how much you have messed up in your life, or if you're a murderer, or if you ate kids for money. Looking at you, P. Diddy. You can always repent, and Jesus has the power to save you. And presumably, it's his saints do as well, I guess.
Yeah, no one is beyond redemption.
Exactly, and that's an important idea. In fact, some would argue that that idea is what made Christianity so revolutionary for the whole world. There, I've played devil's advocate for Christianity.
That's one of the reasons. But the demonic Krampus is probably one of the most horrifying of these dark servants. And I thought that we should just start swinging.
Oh, we're swinging.
Depending on
Krampus especially. He smells bad, too.
And depending on the legend, there are many demons that go by the title of Krampus. Krampusi? Krampuses? Plural Krampus word. Insert.
Krampi.
Yeah. This demon serves as the origin of numerous tales about the malevolent entities connected to the winter holidays throughout regions such as Bavaria, Austria, Slovenia, Croatia, and northern Italy. These stories depict Krampus as a horned, anthropomorphic figure who punishes misbehaving children, serving as a dark contrast to the benevolent figure of Santa Claus.
He sounds kind of like Leibach.
In America, however, Krampus remains largely unfamiliar, like Mari said, to the general population. Personally, I never encountered any reference whatsoever to him in my childhood.
Really?
His existence was, until I became an adult, I had never heard of Krampus. And upon learning about Krampus, I found the tales surrounding him to be quite unsettling.
Now, to be fair, here in America, we have the Grinch. You had the Grinch, right?
Well, of course, everybody knows the Grinch stole Christmas.
That's our Krampus.
But he didn't steal Mary Lou Who.
Now you must come with us. Taste our pleasures.
It's interesting to note that while Krampus may not be the oldest monster associated with the winter solstice, acknowledging that much of human history has either been lost or distorted, he has undeniably gained fame and recognition that overshadow many of these other folklore figures that follow Santa around. And his story has captured the imagination of many, leading to a resurgence of interest in his character in contemporary culture. Krampus himself is a satyr-like demon that embodies the darker aspects of the holiday. He has features resembling those of a goat, including cloven hooves, dark fur, and twisted horns, giving him a fearsome appearance.
You know, he looks a little bit like...
Pan,
Yes, he does look like Pan.
But he's got all that fur and a long tail with like a tuft at the end.
Who are those demons in Japan that teach the art of swordsmanship? Tengu.
Ah.
He looks like a Tengu.
Too bad Mal isn't here. He could go on that. Krampus has his own dedicated night, too, celebrated on December 5th, known as
Krampusnacht.
which is the eve of St. Nicholas Day. During this night, the demon roams the streets, fully engaged in his pursuit of naughty children. He possesses an uncanny ability to sense the fear of those who have been misbehaving, making him a relentless hunter of the ill-behaved. Equipped with a large basket or sack slung over his shoulder, Krampus captures the naughty children he finds during his nightly rounds. Instead of simply scaring them, he takes them away into the dark, chilling night, where they face various forms of terror and torment.
Was he the CIA?
The atmosphere is filled with the sound of clanging chains, which Krampus drags behind him, creating an eerie echo that sends shivers down the spines of onlookers.
So I just realized, Santa Claus with his sack of gifts slung over his shoulder is a mirror of Krampus with his basket he takes the kids away, he stuffs them in the sack, and then by force of some kind of weird transformative magic, the kids turn into presents for other good children.
Capitalism. By putting them to work in the factory. And they're not children anymore because they're legally classified as elves. And elves have to do everything that Santa says.
We cracked the case.
As part of his menacing tactics, Krampus wields a bundle of branches known as rootin. He uses these branches to strike the naughty children, instilling fear and reinforcing the consequences of their behavior. Interestingly, the children who only receive a few swats from Krampus are considered to be the fortunate ones, as those taken away in his sack may face far worse fates. This juxtaposition of punishment and potential horror serves as a whimsical yet cautionary tale about behavior during the rest of the year.
Right, because parents and mothers would often say, what would the Krampus think? Or well, the Krampus will take you away if you act like that throughout the entire year in order to get their kids to behave.
Then you get signed to Bad Boy Records.
The term Krampus has its roots in the Bavarian dialect, likely derived from the word Krampen, which translates to dead, or the German word Kramp, meaning claw.
So the clause in Santa Claus.
Whoa.
Now it's just in your record contract, like clauses. Get it? Okay.
Yeah, no, you've been spelling it like that.
I also find it amusing that this is the German word that's also the root of crampon, which Aleister Crowley was a pioneer of his use as a mountain climber. Like him and the guy who invented it, the crampons. He was like one of the first people to use them. I thought that was fun. Anyway.
Interesting name.
I heard you like mountain climbing, so we put some crampons in your tampons.
No. Ouch.
Perfect. How are you going to pronounce these words, bro?
I'm gonna try.
These are a little bit Nordic, aren't they?
What the f***?
I'm supposed to be a white person, right? We get these Hebrew words and these Indian words. Why is it that the Northern European and the Irish stuff is the hardest shit to pronounce?
It's kind of like French, where there's all these letters there, but it's just like one syllable.
The oldest lore surrounding Krampus can be traced back to the 7th century through various historical documents. However, his contemporary image and characteristics only begin to take shape around the 16th and 17th centuries. But if we go looking for a pre-Christian origin of Krampus, we find none other than the Norse god Thor, who rode through the sky in a chariot drawn by 2 goats, Tangrisnir and Tangjoster. It was during this season, at the end of the harvest, that the Isat sheaf of grain was to be bundled, and that it was thought in turn to have magical properties, and so it was set aside for Yule celebrations. In honor of Thor, this bundle of grain was spun in the shape of one of his goats. So you take the last piece of grain, turn it into a goat. So these Yule goats, or Julbolken, are still popular today and have evolved and appeared all across Europe, basically. In Sweden, the Yule goat was perceived as an unseen spirit that appeared before Christmas to inspect all the Yuletide preparations and that they had been done correctly. If you didn't, they would help you. In reference to the older tradition of the grain bundle, the Yule goat could also refer to objects crafted from straw or wood. I think you see one of these in Midsommar. I think they have one of these. I think they smash one up as part of their ritual. It's supposed to foreshadow events. Anyway, in Scandinavian society, a popular Christmas prank was then to sneak this Yule goat into a neighbor's home unseen. Then, The pranked family was then obliged to dispose of the Yule goat in the same covert manner. So, breaking and entering and hiding a goat.
It's kind of cute.
It's awesome.
Covert hot potato.
Yes. And if you really think about it, it's a bit of a high trust tradition, is it not?
Yeah.
It's like, I could sneak into your house and kill everyone in it, but instead I'll just leave a Yule goat, because I like you, because we're neighbors, we can trust each other.
Or steal their gold while they're at it.
Or underpants. In modern times, the bizarre Krampus celebrations occur throughout Central Europe during the 5th of December, just as the chill of winter envelops the region. Krampusnacht, or the Krampus Run, as it's translated into English, is a vibrant spectacle with revelers donning intricate and often elaborate Krampus costumes. Their masks, carved from wood and adorned with horns, furs, and bells that jingle as they parade through the streets, frightening onlookers, whipping the legs of children, stealing hats, and giving out Krampus schnapps, a type of fruity brandy to the grown-ups.
This enchanting tradition thrives particularly in the breathtaking alpine regions, where the scenic backdrop of snow-capped mountains accentuates the charm of this whimsical celebration. Across villages and towns, laughter and excitement fill the air as families and communities come together to punish and frighten children while getting drunk during this unique fusion of festivity and folklore.
Look at this picture in the notes.
Heh, looks fun.
Dude, this is how Christians imagine the revelation. There's just like demons and fire, and they're walking around with these weapons.
Yeah, it looks gnarly.
It's like a gore show or something.
It's like Halloween. And we'll have Halloween on Christmas.
You know what I mean, though? It's not just Halloween. It's like if you go to like Not Scary Farm or like, like an amusement park where they really try and scare you. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, one of the serial ones. And now we come to the next spooky dookie.
His waifu.
Frau Perchta. In similar legends from Austria and Bavaria, a fearsome figure known as Frau Perchta emerges. Her presence felt traditionally on the Thursday before Christmas and all throughout early January. This enigmatic character first appeared in historical records around the year 1200, but whispers of her origins suggest she may have once been a pagan revered goddess whose essence was twisted and demonized by Christianity, transforming her into a sinister hag.
I like to imagine she has pine needles for armpit hair.
Indeed. In the wake of this transformation, much of her original identity has been obscured because Frau Perchta is often linked to the art of sewing. This may indicate her origin as Frigg from the Norse pantheon, highlighting a thread of continuity, get it, within folklore of the region. Yet beneath this seemingly benign association lies a more chilling aspect of her character, as she is ominously dubbed the belly-slitter. This moniker evokes a sense of dread, hinting at her role's dark and unsettling nature in Norse folklore.
Attempting to narrow down the ancient identity of Frau Perchta is fairly difficult, as she truly does seem to be an amalgamation of various Northern European deities, like the Norse Frigga, the wife of Odin, but also the Germanic goddess Hulda, who also seems to be a lifeboat for any and all Scandinavian, Norse, or Germanic goddess folklore that endured through Christianity. Hulda, probably in reference to Odin, lives at the bottom of a well, rides a wagon, and is responsible for showing humans how to spin fiber from flax. Church documents indicate that she was strongly associated with the Greco-Roman goddess Diana, which makes sense because Hulda was also a protector of children and a champion of women, who, according to the church document Canon Episcopi,
went out through closed doors in the silence of the night, leaving their sleeping husbands behind.
Unfaithful witches.
For real.
In this way, Christianity saw her as something of a witch queen, which explains quite a bit about her incarnation as Frau Perchta.
Whatever her original origin was, she is now depicted as a stereotypical hag or witch with ragged clothing, a cane, wrinkled to all hell, and a crooked nose. In some stories of her, the nose is a beaked point made of iron.
This is reminiscent of the Strega, which keeps coming up lately, and I think is going to come up again.
Oh, like the North Asian version of a witch?
Yeah, like an owl lady.
Kind of like Baba Yaga?
Just hold it in your mind.
The owls are not what they seem. Frau Perchta usually carries a short, one-handed scythe or other dangerous blade, such as a long knife, and her hair is wild and stark white. Her greatest love is sewing and having things tidy. Villages had to have wool and flax ready to be spun before the winter gets too harsh, or they may receive a visit from the belly-slitter.
So another tradition enforcing entity. I'm beginning to detect a pattern. There's also a prohibition on spinning during holidays, so trying to catch up at the last minute was as much of a no-no.
A variety of things could occur if one is unfortunate enough to be visited by this holiday demon. She may just set aflame all the yarn and wool that you have in your house that you might not yet have spun, or things could get even deadlier. If the house she invades is not kept tidy, or a bowl of porridge isn't left out for her the Thursday before Christmas, Frau Perchta will become enraged and force her way into every room of the home, slice open the bellies of the inhabitants, rip out their insides, and fill the empty abdomens with straw and rocks. These assaults will not only occur the Thursday before Christmas, but also early into the new year, when December is over. Why isn't there a horror movie of this? But Frau Perchta is often associated with the folklore surrounding the Wild Hunt, a spectral procession of mythological hunters that is said to sweep through the night sky during winter. In many tales, she is depicted as a mysterious figure who leads the ghostly group. If you're unfamiliar with the Wild Hunt and its significance in various cultures, you'll have to wait for a deeper exploration of those fascinating stories and their meanings, because we will cover it shortly. Don't you worry.
The way all the mythology is woven together between these regions seems kaleidoscopic, but it connects a lot of dots too. The Nightmare Before Christmas, I think, is a clever riff on all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That brings us to the Perchten. These entities are the assistants of Frau Perchta and hold down her victims while she slices their bellies open and pulls out their guts to be replaced with straw and sewn back up.
It's hard to find good help these days.
They do more than pinning people to the ground to be disemboweled, though. And there are two types of these guys. The
Schön Perchten, which means beautiful Perchten, and the Shiach Perchten, which means ugly Perchten.
That's pretty good.
Shiach sounds like, yeah, ugly.
I'm not familiar with that one, but schönen is like beautiful. Like sie ist schön is you are beautiful, but formal. Maybe it's she is beautiful. I don't know. I don't speak German. So this idea seems to echo Frau Perchta's two forms. First, as the Weißes Frau, or White Lady, a beautiful Lady Winter type character, but also Dunkel Großmutter, for dark grandmother, a crone-like figure who deceased infants were said to go to when they died. So she's a good grandma, unless she takes care of the dead babies. The idea that these might be an entire class of beings makes sense, because even Frau Hulda shares etymological roots to the Hulda, who are basically Scandinavian forest nymphs who offer assistance to coal burners who had fallen asleep in exchange for offerings of food. Sound familiar? The elements are all the same, but it's a little mixed up. So, if you're a coal burner that is a bad boy and falls asleep on the job, your helpful Hulda hottie would sneak a piece of fresh coal into the burner for you. That is, if you left her oatmeal cookies in a glass of milk. As essentially spirit beings, Hulda transform into beautiful human women, but just as they are with the Inari in Japanese mythology, they have to hide or conceal an animal tail, which they can't quite shapeshift out. You know, like they always have something that you could pick them out in a crowd, you know, it's like, oh, that's a shapeshifting fox. Same thing. I couldn't find out if they would like marry these people and then bad things would happen, but if there's anything like the Japanese myth, I don't know. Now, better still, the name for these Hulda give us some etymological clues, meaning both covered or secret, but also gracious, friendly, or helpful. So, St. Nicholas may not have introduced these qualities to Christmas gift giving. It was actually a bunch of coal-delivering furry spirit waifus that you had to lure with snacks.
Checks out.
No, really, isn't it weird that the Japanese have the same thing? What is that?
Yeah, and these are countries that, at this point in time at least, like, didn't really have any connections.
No, and it's that weird thing where they both personify the sun as feminine. Like, there's a lot of overlaps in their myths.
Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe there was like a portal that opened up in Germany and a portal that opened up in Japan, and the entities just go back and forth.
Or maybe it's just a universal thing and people pick up on it with different languages and different cultural understandings.
Yeah, and it's probably also just entities going through portals, like being monsters. That sounds fun.
Monster women are awesome.
Don't you get me started. As Perchta's followers, they roamed through quaint towns and charming villages, spreading joy and granting blessings to a variety of individuals they encountered along the way. These blessings, often referred to as boons, were as diverse as the people themselves. They could range from intangible, like bestowing someone with good luck, to something more tangible, such as providing actual financial aid in the form of money.
Or coal. Coal is a valuable resource, you know.
These enchanting figures were known as the beautiful Perchten, radiant beings whose presence seemed to bring an air of magic wherever they went. When people caught sight of them, they encountered a burst of color and cheerfulness, as the Perchten adorned themselves in resplendent attire that sparkled and shone under the light. Their bright garments glittered with vibrant hues, filled with intricate patterns that reflected their joyful nature.
Were they furries too?
Yes. Encounters with beautiful Perchten were legendary, as many who crossed paths with them found their fortunes improved significantly as the new year approached. The warmth and positivity exuded by Perchta brought renewed hope and happiness to those around them, ensuring a brighter future for all they blessed. Their bright appearance and cheerful demeanor greatly contrasted with their master's malevolence, but their counterparts were much more like Frau Perchta. The ugly Perchta would sometimes benefit people too, though, just in ways that might not seem too obvious. They are demonic looking, with hooves and sharp whips, and they howl and crack their whips to drive away evil spirits from villages, towns, and cities. Some men from villages would wear masks of these horrifying monsters and imitate them, thinking it could keep their homes safe from evil spirits.
I don't trust them.
Sounds like a furry convention.
Everybody knows you always trust a furry.
Only trust them if they offer you candy.
Yes, and they have a van, like that with dark tinted windows.
Now you must come with us.
Ugly or beautiful, both of these kinds of Perchta accompanied their master on her grim quest for victims to slice open during the winter holiday, which is especially horror-inducing since, one of these types of Perchta were cheery, gleeful, and merry with Christmas colors and just, yet still hold you down while your stomach is sliced open by a hideous hag creature.
That's how you get fresh tinsel on the tree.
This kind of reminds me of South Park's Woodland Critter Christmas. Don't look that up.
Oh my gosh. You're so right, though.
Sounds like Happy Tree Friends, if I am correct.
I'm just imagining the elves at the North Pole, like, welcoming in a child and then, like, doing that.
Hi, Charlie.
Like, wow.
Yeah, blood orgy for Satan. Yeah.
Oh, no. It's so scary.
We have cookies.
I made this.
Oh, you're making them right now. Got it.
Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does.
Should I continue, Maestro?
Yes.
In the Erie region at the crossroads of Austria, Switzerland, and Germany, unfortunate travelers may encounter a hauntingly mysterious procession known as the Night Folk. This spectral gathering, also referred to as the Night Throng, Death Folk, or Death Throng, is composed of lost souls who march together in a somber display.
Like depressed ghosts.
Clad in flowing all-black shrouds and robes that flutter silently in the night air, the apparitions create an unsettling sight. Their presence is accompanied by the haunting strains of otherworldly music that seems to drift through the air, echoing off the surrounding hills and trees.
They say stuff like, "You'll never understand me, Dad."
While some are unfortunate enough to catch a glimpse of these macabre figures, many others only hear the chilling melodies that signal their approach. So basically, Mal and his band friends whenever they roll up.
I could see it. There actually is something to be said for, I guess, the makeup in black metal, having mythological ties to these traditions.
Oh yeah. It's all like in our either genetic memory or our collective human unconscious.
So all those black metal people, they just crave Christmas.
Regardless of whether they are seen or just sensed, the appearance of the Night Folk is an unnerving experience that leaves a traumatizing mark on anyone who stumbles upon them. The atmosphere becomes thick with a feeling of despair and unease, as if the very essence of the lost souls is trying to communicate their sorrow to the living. Their eerie procession is a disturbing reminder of the thin veil that separates the world of the living from that of the departed, compelling all who witness it to reflect on the mysteries of life and death.
I think I would get lured in.
The music they play, though otherworldly, can also be alluring to some.
I knew it!
It entices one to join them in their procession of the dead, and those who go with them are never seen again.
Woo! Party time!
Musicians are particularly vulnerable to this allure, and the spirits will offer to teach them secrets of crafting melodies that enchant listeners to unknown states of pleasure far beyond any normal human teacher could ever teach them. Much like in fairy folklore, though, it's always best to just say no.
Just say yes!
In any altered state, never eat any food offered to you by the characters you encounter. This is a classical thing. It's good advice. This can be metaphorically applied across the board concerning the supernatural from various different cultures.
You know how they say don't drink the Kool-Aid? Well, everything in the spirit or dream world is Kool-Aid. Just have to remember that. Also, you can walk through walls like Kool-Aid.
As the holiday season approaches in the late months of the year, those living in the freezing regions near the Alps should remain vigilant. If they happen to witness the enigmatic Black Parade, this mysterious procession is not to be trifled with, and any attempts to obscure their march can lead to dire and unforeseen consequences for those who dare intervene, whether intentional or not. While the Black Parade nears a dwelling, whether it's a cozy home or any other type of building, it is crucial to act promptly and decisively. Residents should immediately open both the front and back doors, creating a clear passage for the parade to move through without hindrance. This act of respect is vital, as it ensures the safety of everyone.
So you just gotta open all the doors and windows in the house. What if it's cold outside?
Put on a sweater.
That's why you need to be spinning the flax.
It's all coming together.
I also imagine that all the electricity in the house goes out when they're near and going through. So it's just like every black, dark, and you see these figures.
They just happen to visit the houses that smell like apple pie and
My imagination creates some pretty disturbing visuals when I'm imagining how this would go down. Neglecting to follow this guidance by keeping the doors closed or trying to impede their route in any way could spell trouble for the occupants of that building. Those who fail to comply may find themselves facing inexplicable misfortunes during this magical, yet mysterious and often dangerous time of year.
it's just like that year-round in Australia.
Except the Black Parade are spiders.
Or government officials, whatever.
Yeah. The best way to avoid harm from the night folk is to just leave them alone, because they usually will leave people alone as long as they are left to march in peace. However, this is not always the case.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Especially if they're walking through your house, you got to open the doors, obviously. And in some regions around the Alps, they're much more dangerous, such as in Switzerland. In that country, for some reason, they are much creepier and perform the procession without music. Crossing the night folk here would most likely spell demise for whoever would be so foolish, or anyone who got too close for that matter.
It can be dangerous to get too close to musicians.
In Switzerland, seeing them often is an omen of plagues. In other areas of the Alps, these lost souls denied peace and cursed to wander eternally, which were much less likely to strike out at the living without provocation. Although I said the music had an otherworldly allure, this also was not always the case, because sometimes it was just straight up horrifying. It could be a mix of drumming, rattling bones, moaning, and screams, culminating in a cacophony of discord. The safest thing to do if encountering them is to not look at them, since you can usually hear the music before seeing them, so you kind of got a warning before they show up and just get the F out of there.
That's just music from the future that you don't understand because you're a boomer.
No one understands me, Dad. The music of the night folk acted as a powerful omen for the upcoming year as well, conveying hidden messages through the haunting melodies. If the music was beautiful, it signified that the year would be a good year and bring fortune, prosperity, whatever good stuff for the people. Conversely, if the music was dissonant and unsettling and creepy, it foretold a year filled with hardship and suffering. Above all, it is crucial to remember the importance of denying any offers when approached by them. Their invitations may seem enticing, especially if you're a musician, but yielding to their demands means risking abduction.
Woo!
Once someone goes with the night folk, there is no chance of return. They become lost to the world forever.
It's become a ghost groupie forever.
And with none of the drugs.
So now that I've invoked Japanese mythology, this does sound remarkably like the Night March of 1,000 Demons.
Oh, yeah. Or all the yokai march down the street in this beautiful display.
Yes!
And people are enticed to come join the parade.
Yes!
And frivolity and festivity, but you get swept away in it, which is also one of the main core motifs in the most awesome anime movie Paprika, which we should do an episode on. But
I'm down.
But yeah, this reminds me of that because it's distracting, it's enticing and entertaining, and of course people would be drawn to it like moth to a flame.
Okay, how does Nightmare Before Christmas open?
Oh yeah, the parade.
So it's real. This stuff actually happens. Just, it might be a little different depending on your culture.
Told you. Is everybody done with their thoughts?
I have no thoughts.
Yeah, right.
You must be super zen. Oh, man.
No, he just has all of them at once, and then they negate.
I have Netty and I have pot. It's a Netty pot.
All right, that brings us to Turst in Switzerland, before and after Christmas, specifically near Lucerne and nearby Mount Pilatus, stalks a vicious hunter called Turst.
This one's really weird.
Those unlucky enough to encounter this entity can be sure it's present by the horn it blows to herald its presence. Turst appears as a humanoid being that's an amalgamation of a pig and a dog.
Man, bear, pig.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Wait,
it is.
Man, dog, pig.
Can you hold back? I'm super serial right now.
People got scared and ran away. They think I'm weird.
But in some legends, he can also transform into a hound and lead his pack through the sky. The monster is always accompanied by his loyal dogs, who only have 3 legs and are led by a hound with a single eye at the center of its forehead.
Oh my goodness. Nightmare Before Christmas. Who pulls the sleigh?
This entity acts a lot like the night folk previously mentioned, in that everyone must make sure to stay out of their way and never block their path. People who do not get out of the way will be turned into one of his dogs and join the ghostly hunt forever. Any animal who's touched by the hunt is also negatively affected, which sucks for farmers because their cows will never give milk again and their livestock goes insane, usually killing other livestock or themselves.
Oh, like at Skinwalker Ranch.
Whoa.
That's where
Yeah.
Turst lives full time.
Probably. So farmers, they basically basically they're the most vulnerable to Turst, which kind of sucks, but they could still do stuff to lessen the damage, such as not block the path of the hunt. If they're coming up on their barns or whatever, just open the doors both sides, not hinder their path in any way, and they can mostly avoid the bad stuff. However, it's not just dogs that can be a threat. Turst's horn itself is not only a warning to mortals to like herald his presence or whatever, but also an artifact that can summon various supernatural entities to do his bidding. He is also the master of the local goblins that dwell in Centerberg Mountain. Oddly enough, these evil entities are also said to guard a unicorn that lives in the mountain from mortal predation as well.
So Turst is a one-eyed dog king of the goblins who guards the sacred unicorn? I'm about it. Would it be wrong to imagine Turst as David Bowie?
No, not at all. I just imagine him as Man Bear Pig, like Mari said.
I'll be honest, I imagine him as Fred Durst. He did it all for the nookie.
Some see Turst as the personification of fierce winter storms that rampage throughout the Alps during the holiday season. His hunt is always surrounded by howling winds and heavy snow, and much like the storm, Turst is an unstoppable force of nature that should be avoided at all costs. Villagers put up weather crosses, to ward off Turst and help calm the deadly winds if they get too close to their homes. Turst is often associated with fear during the Christmas season because he symbolizes the relentless power of the natural elements. His presence serves as a poignant reminder that some challenges in life cannot be controlled or predicted. The best way to approach such challenges is usually just avoidance. Steering clear of potential dangers can significantly reduce the likelihood of harm. Similarly, when it comes to dealing with harsh elements, be they literal weather conditions or metaphorical challenges in life, the safest path is often to distance oneself. Engaging with these formidable forces can be tempting, but such encounters can lead to disastrous outcomes. Therefore, understanding the importance of caution and wisdom in avoiding unnecessary risks is crucial for one's well-being during this festive yet perilous time.
I'd like to also note that not only avoidance of these bad situations, but a kind of leaning into or preparedness around them is important too, because you mentioned one of the things that farmers would do is open both doors to a barn. If you're thinking about a wild winter storm with howling winds like that, perhaps the barn would have collapsed and killed all the animals in its entirety if they had not opened a ventilation area for the wind to blow through. So in a way, you're kind of working with the force of nature. You're allowing it to kind of push you forward however it feels it can, but at the same time, you're protecting yourself from, I guess, the ultimate damage from it by not resisting it at all.
It's like Aikido, you just go with the flow.
Kind of, yeah, like you allow it to kind of blow you around, but you're not trying to fight it, which would cause damage. Just accept it.
You damn celebrant, and here's a limp biscuit for your troubles. Thanks, Santa Claus.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
They need to redo that movie, but with Macaulay Culkin as an adult, and the mafia's trying to get into his house.
Leave Trump in it.
And then Rudy Giuliani shows up to help him defend against the siege. But if you'd like to hear the rest of the episode where we talk about the Straggle,
Stragelli?
The strudel?
make me hungry, the abusive, child-whipping Belsnickle, Necht Ruprecht, the Raunacht, and of course, the deadly Wild Hunt, then please visit www.patreon.com/thewholerabbit, where your monthly donation of just $5 will not only get you the extended edition of this episode, but every single one of our extended episodes that stretches back like 5 years or something, full of binge-worthy content that other magic folk would probably charge you $50 a month just to give you like a half-assed, poorly recorded class that they did as a lecture in some former time and place that now they're charging you money for because cheat! We won't talk about that. If you subscribe right now, you'll even get 10% off and you'll get the secret keys to our Discord server. I'll send you a sticker, which you can put on your computer and join us in Discord. Or we can play Scrabble with Hecka Astra, where she plays words at an average of 80 points a score, which is insane. Insane.
Oh, that's a hyperbole.
No, it's not. It's a vocabulary. Thank you. And you have a big one. Big vocabulary.
What did you say about my vocabulary?
They could just eat carrots and shoot lasers.
Pew pew pew. Pew pew pew.